practicing listening to other people's opinions and practicing giving your opinion actually helps you build self-confidence. It is a big part that will help you build something that most of us want. You're listening to the Bear in Mind Podcast, episode 140.
A podcast that breaks it down so you can break the cycle for good. Now, your host, Tara Rama, but you can call her T.
I did not like opinionated people. In fact, saying somebody is opinionated was used as an insult in my family, my friends growing up, and into early adulthood. Oh, she's so opinionated. And today, I love other people's opinions, and I love my opinion. I'm going to give you 3 things to think about other people's opinions, as well as your own opinion on things. It doesn't matter what opinion you have about yourself, about other people, opinions about anything in this world. And I'm going to give you 3 things that might shift a little bit on why maybe loving other people's opinions might be possible. So first up is opinions aren't facts. We tend to forget this, I think, in arguments. Opinions are not facts. You can like a film, somebody else doesn't like it. It's not a fact. Because there is no universal truth. Although we'd like to believe that there is only our truth based on our experience, based on our upbringing, all of those things. We have a sort of truth within us, and it lies within each of us. But there is no universal truth, like this is the best film of the year. Yes, there is an award by some other people's opinions that gave them a certain film or an award because it was based on somebody else's opinion. And when you can see that opinions are not facts, you're so much more willing to listen to the other person. And this can come down even to the microscopic scale between you and a person you're close to, a partner, your children. You can see that when they have an opinion about something you did. I got into a small little argument with my partner about cleaning up the kitchen. And I realized that what he was saying about how I do it, that's his opinion. And how he does it, it's my opinion. And none of us is right or wrong. And so when I can remember this, sometimes in a heated argument, it's difficult. But in that moment, it was a small argument. I could remember that that is his opinion and this is my opinion, and there's no right or wrong. There's no universal truth here on cleaning up the kitchen. And that is kind of the foundation when it comes to when you're talking about giving your opinion, sharing your opinion, or listening to somebody else's opinion, knowing that it's not a fact. Knowing that you're giving an opinion based on information that you know in this moment, and that you can change that opinion. And this number one thing, I think, is the reason that I started to really like hearing other people's opinions and starting to give my opinion, knowing that I'm not stating a universal truth out there. I'm not putting it out there. The second thing that when you look at somebody's opinion and it's not a fact is that you begin to learn. When you begin practicing this in conversation and you hear other people's opinions and knowing that it's not a fact, you begin to learn a lot about the other person. And that is really very cool in relationships, whether you're starting to date someone, whether you're in a 20-year marriage, you begin to learn and you can see, oh, that's their opinion. That's how they see things. And when you give your opinion, you learn something about yourself. When I show up and I give my opinion, and there's a great example. I highly recommend joining a book club because you can give your opinion and really practice giving your opinion. And it's not right or wrong. And then someone will push back on it. They'll say, well, I thought about it this way. And I learned something about myself. I learned that, okay, maybe I hadn't thought about that. And I kind of reformulate my opinion. I reformulate a judgment about something, about life. And I get that kind of learning because the next time I go to say my opinion, I have thought through it a lot more in depth, and I can say it with a little more information. I can give some basis to it. It's more weighty when I give it. I feel like it's more weighty now that I've listened to other people's opinions and really thought through some of the original opinions I've had on anything. It could even be politics, it can be sex, it can be any of those things. And when I take in other people's opinion, other information, it could be even a book, again, nonfiction books, it's still somebody taking data points, which are facts, and then formulating an opinion on it. Taking in that information, even from books, helps me formulate my own opinion, so I learn. And what better way to learn about somebody else than to hear their opinions? And I notice that there's a shift in me that if somebody doesn't really share their opinion, or they're kind of a little timid to share their opinion because they don't want to go against the group, and I totally get that because that was me. I wanted to fit in. I don't get a real sense of them, and that's okay. But I also don't get to know them. And I would love to know that person. And people get to know you, and they can have an opinion about you, and you change your relationships. And yes, sometimes it might be that somebody doesn't like your opinion, decides they don't like you, but that's good. You don't have to put your energy into somebody else, but they get a sense of who you are, which even if they maybe don't like some of the things you say, they get a sense of who you are, and they feel grounded, and they feel maybe even a trust. I can even trust somebody that I don't share the same opinions in because they are very open with their opinion and very transparent. And so when it comes to people that before I would say I would push away because I'm like, I don't agree with that opinion. I don't agree with now, actually, the people that I don't like their opinions, but I can trust in them. They're giving me their viewpoint. And I find that I gravitate now towards people that are willing just to share it and willing to be wrong about it. Now, I'm not talking about somebody who always gives their opinion and always thinks that that's the 100% universal truth. But I am talking about someone who's willing to put themselves out there, be wrong about it, and be okay with it. I do the same, and I've had great practice, and that's one of the reasons why I think book club is a really safe place to do this, and that's where I kind of learned that. And so that brings me to the third point, is that you develop self-confidence. When you give your opinion and when you listen to other people's opinions, you are a lot more confident in an interaction. When you know that the opinion is not a fact and you allow someone to say something that maybe slightly irritates you, maybe goes against your values, but you be like, okay, that's your opinion. And you can stay in your confidence, knowing that that's opinion and knowing you have a different opinion and none of it's a universal truth. And that this is an opportunity to learn, and you can be so much more grounded and confident in that framework of how we interact as humans in any context, parent to child, partner to partner, colleague to colleague. Knowing that, it grounds you so much more when you have discussions, when there's disagreements, when there's different viewpoints. Because the funny thing is, we think that people are confident when they give their opinion, and it's not necessarily the action of always giving your opinion is coming from confidence. It's kind of like these two things go hand in hand. The more you give your opinion, the more you pushback you feel, and the more you get through that pushback, you then develop your self-confidence, because you can give your opinion and then go quiet, which is what I often did. I would give an opinion and then someone would push back, and then I would say no more. Instead, what I do is I give my opinion, I get the pushback, and I show up again with my other opinion on another topic, or I reformulate it. And that has helped the self-confidence. It's listening to it, giving my opinion with the willingness to be wrong, and then being able to continue to communicate that opinion. And it might be different than 3 months ago, 6 months ago, 10 years ago. And there are even different opinions that I've seen even on this podcast from my episode number 1, that because I have communicated my opinion here on this podcast, I have started to think through things through my own value system, and that has been reformulated. And then that will make you a more confident speaker, a more confident communicator, more confident in your relationships. So I'll recap the 3 things that'll help you kind of like other people's opinions. Number 1 is opinions are not facts. That's it. There's no universal truth. Number 2 is you can learn. You can learn about the other person and learn about yourself when you are open to hearing somebody's opinion that you don't necessarily agree with and having somebody push back on your opinion, challenging it. And 3, the more you listen to somebody's opinion and the more that you share your opinion, you will grow in your self-confidence. That is all I have for you this week. I'll check back with you next.
Thanks for listening. Listen for a new episode next Tuesday by subscribing on your favorite podcast platform. Bye for now.